Hello everyone, we are here at the Stitch e-commerce Elevate event, and I'm so excited to talk to Jess from Fieldbar. You guys have such an amazing product, and it's something I got really excited about. I got it as a gift recently. Didn't think I was going to use it as much as I am actually, so quite surprised about how cool the product is. Welcome, and thank you so much for the time to chat to me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you guys have taken the scene by storm. At least it feels that way. I don't think it is an overnight success. Usually when you think it is, it's something that's been building and brewing for quite some time. I don't know if you can maybe share some of the background of Fieldbar, where it started, when it started, and where you guys are today.
Yeah, sure. So exactly as you say, I think often these ideas start to simmer way back when. And our founder just identified that there was a bit of a gap already in 2018 when it comes to kind of fine outdoor goods and cooler boxes. He started to notice that a lot of events he was at, people were using cooler boxes in urban settings rather than what they're designed for, which is kind of outdoor camping. And they were almost kind of using them in shame, covering them up, trying to style them nicely for all these urban outdoor events. And so he started working with the product designer and seeing kind of how they could fill that space. And then they started selling in 2020, the first Fieldbars. So yeah, we now sit with obviously a beautifully designed product that's as technically excellent as the other cooler box brands that are out there, that are designed more for kind of rugged use.
Yeah, and such a boring space if you think about it, and you've come along and made it a little bit more interesting and fun.
Definitely. I think, especially in urban settings, people are fashion and style conscious, and they want to kind of create an experience when they host, and they want their accessories that they take with them to events to speak to who they are. And I think hopefully we allow the space for people to do that.
The business that you guys have built, did it start online, or do you have any idea of how it started? Was it just a random website and then you started testing a few things out, or?
No, I think they mainly started testing it before the full e-com website was up and running. And I think it was 2020 onwards we started selling online aggressively online. Yeah, so we kind of mainly sell direct to customers via our online website. So we've got .co.za, fieldbar.co.za, which is for the South African market, and then we've also got fieldbar.com, which services our international markets, and then we are in quite a few retailers internationally as well. We've actually got quite a big footprint. And we kind of follow a luxury marketing strategy. It's kind of the basis of everything that we do and how we go about it. So that's really what comes through in a lot of our marketing. And I think a big part of that and getting that right is aligning yourself with really premium retail stores as well. So a big win for us was that we are in Harrods and Fortnum Mason in the UK, because it really provides that credibility for customers to buy into the idea that this is a luxury brand, it's a premium product, and I'm going to get what I'm paying for.
I would assume that your marketing recipe wasn't a success from day one. So I'm quite curious to kind of understand, how did you find a way to differentiate yourself in the market from a marketing point of view? Because marketing is probably the most important thing that any business should do, especially if you sell online. So just looking back maybe and reflecting a little bit, what do you feel was your unique differentiator in the market, and how did that contribute to the success of your marketing?
Yeah, so I think what helps us differentiate in the market is we are kind of fashion-led and inspired by the fashion industry, luxury fashion industry. So that's given us a little bit of an edge in what is quite a rugged and technical kind of product or industry otherwise. And we really lean quite heavily on our safari heritage positioning. It's kind of driven our brand story locally and internationally as well, because it's quite difficult when you enter an international market and you're completely unknown, what differentiates you from other cooler boxes out there. And it's really about delivering a technically excellent product that's portable, and that looks amazing as well, because those are kind of really the tick boxes for our safari heritage, and that's what's in our DNA, and it's where we come from. It's what drives all of our product design and I guess our kind of marketing positioning as well.
And you specifically oversee the e-commerce division as well as the paid media side of things.
That's right.
So my question is, how important is the paid media side of things to the success of this business?
It's critical. I mean, that is kind of our discovery channel. That's how people find out about us that don't already know about us. It's how we kind of grew so quickly in the local market, and we're trying to replicate that growth and that approach internationally as well. So we've had huge success with Meta, so Instagram mainly. That's, I would say, our biggest driver for finding new customers in America and in the other markets as well. So yeah, it's kind of an evolving beast, but really, really important to us.
And what core metrics do you guys focus on when it comes to the success of your paid media campaigns at the moment?
So return on ad spend is probably one of our most important components. You really want to make sure that you're getting the value for the money that you're spending. Because it can be a bit of a bottomless pit. And the main thing is really just to drive those conversions. So, get the customers that are interacting with us online, discovering us, finding us, to then head to the website and ultimately purchase.
And what role does A/B tests maybe play in the paid media campaigns in the website itself from a conversion rate standpoint? Are those things that you actively spend time doing?
A little bit, not as much as we want to yet. We're kind of at the stage where we are just utilizing content that we have, because we have quite a small creative team, and I think, it's really difficult to keep up with the volume of content that's actually needed. So a lot of it is repurposing and not trying to reinvent the wheel too much. What we did in South Africa worked really well for us. We are trying to just do more of that in the international markets, and use existing content that we know is strong, that appeals to people.
And for those watching and listening, most of the business owners find themselves in a position where they've got a really cool idea or a product or a service that they're putting out there online, and they are aware that they have to spend money on paid media. Do you have any perspectives that you maybe want to share with them, like any lessons that you've learned over the last few years of your journey? Any things that they need to look out for or pay attention to?
Yeah, that's the question that everybody wants to answer to, I guess. I think, and it's something we still testing and figuring out, especially as we enter the new markets. Like, it's easy, it's a little bit of an easier job in South Africa because what we're doing is working and we're kind of sticking to it, but we're playing around a little bit with different messaging. One message that works really, really well for us is playing on the scarcity and the exclusivity of the product. We find that those ads perform quite well because it applies a little bit of pressure to the customer, but quite subtly, and in quite a soft sell way.
Helps them get off the fence.
It helps them get off the fence. You might not be able to get our products in a few weeks, months' time.
And that's also authentic scarcity, right? It's not something that you just make up, which a lot of people do.
It's actually something that we've turned as a bit of a business challenge into an opportunity, because the reality is at certain times we have not been able to keep up with the demand for the product. And that's kind of worst case scenario. You don't really want people banging down your door for product and you're not able to supply it to them. And so we've used it as a bit of a lever and a bit of leverage to create this kind of scarcity and exclusivity for customers, so that when we do have stock again and we drop it, there's a rush and people want it, and if they've missed out, then they have to wait again. So it's been an interesting one to kind of we use it in our paid media, and we didn't anticipate that would be a lever that we use initially.
Yeah, a lot of people try and create scarcity, but it's not authentic, and the customers pick up on that. And I think if you've really got a product that's in demand and you tell people honestly that, listen, I can't guarantee that you're going to get this, there's almost like just a natural uptick of conversion, and it can make a huge impact on your actual cost of acquisition and ROAS overall. The next question I'm quite curious about is just how you guys chose the platform that the website is on. So what I'm keen to know is, are you guys on Shopify, on your WooCommerce? What do you prefer to use at the moment, or what is it on?
So we are on Shopify, and we find it works really well for us. It's just, I come from a Magento background, so very different. I just find it's so user friendly for someone that's not a dev person. It's just really, the UX and UI is great. Different people in our business can access it for different functions. And the reporting is also really, really amazing. So, I can go on and find almost any metric that I want to find or create my own reports to know where the gaps are, where do we need to be focusing. It's such an important tool to kind of our day-to-day.
And touching on Shopify specifically, out of curiosity, any interesting apps that you guys, discovered over the last, I'd say, year or so that's made a difference in your marketing and conversion rate?
Yeah. So we kind of have what we call the golden triangle of most important apps. The first one we've mentioned, obviously, Instagram. That's for discovery. That's going to kind of hunt and gather customers. Then we've got Shopify, obviously, critical, because that's where we convert. It's where we communicate our product to them, convince them why they should purchase, kind of speak to our brand promises. And then the last one is escaping me right now, is our 3PLs, especially internationally. So that's our third-party logistics partners. So the route that we've gone is we actually ship product to the different markets, and it sits in warehouses there, and we work with those 3PLs to then ship it to customers. I think for a lot of our international customers, where we're still building that trust, the concerns are, where's this product coming from? Am I going to receive it? How quickly can I get it? And having that stock in those markets just allows us to, promise that we can get it to them quickly. We can say to them, it's coming from your country. It really just helps legitimize who we are. This is not a fly-by-night brand from who knows where. So that's been really critical in terms of growing the international markets. And then we also use Klaviyo for our email marketing, which integrates really easily with Shopify. So it's very easy for us to segment and target specific customers that have browsed but not purchased.
Trigger all kinds of automations.
Exactly. So that's those are kind of our 3 or 4 absolute key apps. And then another one that's quite unique to Fieldbar, I guess, is our Owners Club. So just utilizing a Shopify plugin to create a dashboard for customers to go where they can see all their products. And we've got lots planned for Owners Club, which is quite exciting because I think a lot of customers are quite proud to own a Fieldbar, and it's a little bit of a status symbol, and a lot of repeat customers, they want to complete their sets as we bring out new products. So it's a really interesting space that we're keen to explore more. Yeah.
You mentioned that you guys sell abroad, you sell locally in South Africa. We deal with a lot of people who are very ambitious to grow internationally, but they haven't really dominated the backyard properly yet. My question to you is, what do you see, especially from a marketing point of view, in terms of cost, the difference between advertising internationally and advertising locally?
Yeah, I think what we are still playing with now is just figuring out what the investment that is needed. It is expensive to advertise internationally, I think, especially where you are not as known. Where we're lucky here is we now are a fairly well-known brand. We're quite trusted. For a lot of people, it's a household name. But when you're entering a new market where no one knows you, you're competing with a company like Yeti, especially in the States, that that's the brand there that everybody knows. and we're a very small player in comparison to them. Why should people buy our product and trust it? And you're competing with Yeti kind of budgets. It does become tricky. But I think that's why your actual marketing material on your ads really have to cut through the clutter and offer something unique or different, and speak to kind of your brand promises. And then, of course, you've got to deliver on those brand promises. You've got to make sure that the product that you have promised is going to be beautifully designed, technically excellent, is when it arrives. And that goes from when they first see the ad to the actual shopping experience on the website. Is the information clear? Have we addressed the customer concerns that we know are there? We spend a lot of time doing post-purchase research, especially in new markets, just to understand what's preventing customers from purchasing, because those concerns are different here in newer markets. And then just constantly tweaking, testing. If we add this piece of information in a different way, is it clearer? And then to when the customer receives the product packaging, especially following a luxury marketing strategy, every touch point is so important.
The whole experience.
It's a whole experience. And then that unboxing, obviously, and then when they use the product, it needs to be amazing. We also offer a 5-year warranty. I think that's something that...
that's a nice risk removal.
It gives customers
peace of mind.
Peace of mind, exactly. If it arrives and it's not what I was expecting, or what if this thing breaks, you do have, their options. And that's why the Owners Club becomes so important, because you have to be signed up to the Owners Club in order to qualify for the warranty, and we track it from there. So, yeah, that's been like a really important component that we kind of push quite a lot as well.
When you advertise in competitive markets, especially abroad, and you just said that you have to find ways to stand out. You have to get creative with how you create your content, I'm assuming. Now, with that said, like, how important is your content strategy, and what does that look like? Like, do you guys focus on UGC? Do you focus on static creatives? Do you do a mix of both? I'm just curious to know what you're spending most of your time on.
So it's interesting that you bring up UGC, because as we're entering into some of the newer markets, and especially the States, that's what we're being asked for more and more. But we've kind of been dragging our heels a little bit, because we want to do it in a really authentic, not a hard sell kind of a way, because a lot of the UGC looks the same out there. So we really want to make sure that we still stick to kind of our, what we kind of call it, our marketing tramlines. And we really kind of fixate, and we're a bit pedantic about it, because we've got to make sure every piece of communication, every piece of copy that goes out there, every visual is within those tramlines, so that we remain consistent. Because I think that's really what has made our brand really successful, is we are like consistent to a T in terms of the how we communicate and how we make people feel. And we create kind of, essentially, our goal is to create a brand universe that people want to step inside and play in. And it's really like an invitation for people to step inside our brand universe, rather than being like really hard sells. So our content strategy is not really that aggressive, actually. Like, we don't post so many times a week, send out this many emailers. Our rule of thumb is we kind of post like once a week, and then we spend the entire week fixating over that piece of content, from an organic perspective. Obviously, I'm talking now how it makes people feel. Is it evoking the right emotions? Is it in the brand universe? Is it an invitation for people?
Love it. And out of curiosity again, like, AI is obviously a buzzword, and it's growing so quickly, it's changing so quickly. Have you guys incorporated AI at all into your marketing strategy? And if so, what does that look like?
We haven't, and it's a topic of conversation that comes up frequently, and it's quite, as you say, a hot topic, and a topic that we debate a lot. We will never use AI to cut corners. So I think like I say, we haven't incorporated it, because we don't want to use it to cut corners to seem or appear luxury and premium when we haven't put in the time and effort. We do everything properly, and we do it well, and it's considered, and it's intentional. So, we might use it in the future for systems and processes to kind of make things more streamlined. But yeah, it's interesting. We have a bit of maybe a controversial stand on it, that we're very hesitant and wary as to how and when we'll use it. So all of our content is created. If it's designed, it's created in-house.
And I think most luxury brands have the same view.
Yeah. I don't know, it's tricky, and it's an interesting one. I think the debate continues, definitely. I don't know if we're there in terms of having all the answers yet.
And when it comes to especially South African economy and the climate that we're in, like obviously it's so important to try and convert every user possible, obviously without being manipulative, but it's understanding like we want to put the right systems in place in order to ensure that someone has a good experience. Touching on that is payment gateways as well. Like we've seen it in our stores. It makes a huge difference. Stitch is one of the platforms that we've recently adapted. It's made a big impact in conversion rate. Have you guys tried it at all? And what is your experience so far?
So we actually onboarded Stitch at the end, I think second last day of the month of June. So we are quite new to the platform. And we specifically onboarded it for the kind of Apple Pay functionality. We obviously offer Google Pay and Capitec Pay as well as part of that package. And it's done so well. We saw the uptake literally immediately. I think July, it comprised of 22% of our payments. And it was so funny because it's such a seamless process. We onboarded, they came for a meeting, we onboarded like almost then and there in the meeting. I went out to our founder and I said, we now have Apple Pay. And he was like, I'm going to go check, place an order. And he was like, I'm the first Apple Pay order. And then I went and checked and he was actually the second.
Oh, wow.
So someone within literally 20, 30 minutes of us onboarding had found it, checked out with it. I think it really is just about offering that convenience. If I think about myself, I almost never carry a bag anymore. I literally just have my phone because it's got it's got everything that I need on it. It's got my cards, it's got my boarding passes. And I don't even think if I want to purchase something, I just use it. So I suspect that it's really going to kind of be a bit of a game changer for checkout on our site. And within July, we also saw a 10% increase on conversion rated cart. So I think it will be a big one for us and continue to grow quite quickly.
My last question to you is, as we round off this conversation, is just there's people again sitting and watching and listening to this conversation. They're starting their businesses. Is there any little nuggets of wisdom, of experience that you might maybe want to share with them? A few bullet points that you think can help them on their way and ensure that they see some level of success?
So I think what we always come back to is get the basics right and keep it simple. Don't over-engineer things that don't need to be over-engineered. It's very easy to get distracted, especially as you're growing. And we're in quite a growth phase at the moment. And you kind of you lose sight of what's absolutely critical to kind of keep your finger on. So we always kind of step back and bring it back to basics. And we have what we call continuous improvement, is again coming back to those things that are really, really important and making sure that we're doing them well. And as the company grows and the landscape changes, those need to be tweaked. So that would be like kind of key advice, and I think it's worked really well for us.
Amazing. Jace, I want to say thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you. You guys have built an exceptional brand, and I think it's probably one of South Africa's, or will be, if not already, an iconic South African brand. With that said, thank you so much for your time. Much love, and I really wish you guys all the success in the world.
Thank you so much. It's been great to join you today.
Thanks, guys. All the best. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.